Hello and welcome to Smite Drama, where we're gonna bitch about stuff and you can bitch about it too! I'm gonna yell like this for at least another 3 seconds while I explain! That's about it. I don't feel like yelling anymore because I want to be able to talk when this is done. So, basically, I'm pretty fucking tired of the Smite community and the Smite scene in general, and I haven't played the game in like a month because I'm so sick of this shit! So, I figured basically it's time to actually give the Smite community an outlet. Because, I mean, I love the game. I used to love the game. I played it for 3 fucking years! Straight! Like every night for like 6 hours! And then I was just so mad at it, and it was rage-inducing, and I couldn't do it anymore, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking play Ark. Or 7 Days to Die. I don't care, whatever it is, but this game's awful. It's the people, it's the game, it's the fucking everything involved in it is awful. So, I'm getting it off my chest! And you can join me. What you want to do to join me is you can type !Discord, and that will bring up our lovely Discord server where you can join us in there. It'll have a lovely Smite Drama show thing on the left side, and you can join in there. And when I'm ready to take callers and various people, I will get somebody. To be fair, yes, Ark does rock. So, what can I start with? Well, there's been the drama lately of the best. Everybody that was watching Smite lately watched the best have a shitty interview on Smite Game, which is fine. Why? Because he doesn't fucking care. He's playing a game that he's trying to do decently, and so he can get an invite to regionals, and Hi-Rez is demanding that he acts like a professional when they drag him onto the stage and say, you gotta do an interview, and he's like, I don't want to do an interview, and they're like, you better do the fucking interview! Fine, I'll do the interview! And so then they get that, and they're shocked. But then it's okay! Best is so unprofessional because Bart and, you know, Brandon, they love calling people idiots. And like, I don't understand why they called out Aurora being an idiot! Aurora wasn't a part of that conversation! Why did you jump to Aurora about being an idiot? I don't care! I am your goddamn father, too! It's okay. So yeah. Who cares? These guys are legitimately getting paid far less than minimum wage to play Smite in a professional level. Everybody in esports getting shit on! Because companies and corporations know that they can shit on kids who have no idea about contracts! Oh my god, that's a shock! That's what's happening right now! You look at some of the League of Legends contracts, kids are legitimately getting their parents' houses taken away! Which is actually illegal! Like, their contracts are totally bogus. Anyway, so, as somebody very smart once told me that if the IRS or any like, serious government officialing agency was to take a look at esports and how it's run financially, 90% of the companies and shit would go straight to jail. Not even joking. I mean, it's all but slave labor. I mean, they're paying these kids. They expect these kids to perform at a professional level and act professionally, but they literally pay them like $4 an hour for the amount of time they have to put into it. And yes, I am serious. I mean, kids were getting their houses taken away. Because nobody knows, there's lots of things that can go into that. We'll save that for a whole nother show. So, that's one thing. The thing that really turned me off of Smite was, I got bored. It was a lot me and a lot Smite. One, I got bored with playing casuals. And, you know, it's just, I mean, it's the same map. I only played Conquest because, you know, what other modes are there that are legitimately fun other than Assault? Assault was pretty fun. Because then you couldn't really bitch about somebody playing bad because it's like, well, you got this crap comp. Even then, people would still find a way to bitch about it. Oh my god, you guys won! Because the enemy team who won is actually teabagging us like they're good, even though their comp was just overpowered as balls, and they're like, oh, I'm so good! Like, shut the fuck up! I don't care that you guys kicked our ass! You had the most overpowered comp known to man! You had Poseidon, Vulcan, Nuwa, and Ymir and Geb! Oh, of course you won! You know, I don't... Random ones. The most OP comp I can think of right off the bat, aside from the fact that it's all magical, let's just throw Kali in there for good measure because she can't die. So, that was getting frustrating. So I was playing a lot of ranked because I wanted to play ranked. God, don't get me started. That's just the nature of competitive. It's going to be that. But it's a lot to do with some of the matchmaking things that go in there, which is various things that people argue and bitch about in general. Which can be solved by people actually, I don't know, pretending like they're not retarded. Pretend! I don't care if you're actually retarded. Just pretend that you're not. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. Not too much. Not too much. So, 1 second. I have to fix something. Okay, that's right. Good. What is the deal with airline food? I agree. So, let's go to our first ranter. Real quick here. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
I can hear myself in you. Because you're echoing like a bastard. Rebel, you should know this! You're killing me! Alright. Oh yeah, it's better. DJ Trix, would you like to let us know how you feel about Smite lately? He can't hear me. Exactly! Skylard does stuff and junk. 20 minutes queue for a 10-minute game in which Toxic is all the problem with ranked. With Toxics, yes. I mean, you need to expand the player base to do the better ones. Quiet Gale! Exclamation point Discord. That'll get you into the Discord server, and that will let you come down into the channel that I'm in where you can rant. I mean, okay, so as a streamer in Smite's viewer base is not growing. It's just not. I mean, in fact, it's getting worse. When the SPL started this once upon a time ago, it started with like 10, 15,000 viewers. Now it's down to 6, 7, maybe 10 on a good day. I don't think we've actually reached 10 in the past 3 weeks. Maybe like 9.5. If we have reached 10, it was for a spurring moment before people were like, oh, I don't give a shit anymore. And then it's gone back down again. And nobody wants to look at the actual hard facts. How many people don't watch SPL because of DM Brandon? Just gonna say it right there. Brandon, Bart, some of the people that cast the games that legitimately sound like they don't give a shit about being there. Or they're just fucking being rude to everybody. See, the person, you're exactly right. The casters are turning you off of the SPL. I like F. Dot. He tries and puts his soul into it. I love Hindu Man. He's the greatest caster they have, by far. But he hardly casts, which pisses me off. Drybear was one of the best casters they've ever had. Some people like DM Brandon's casting. I don't. I know a lot of people who don't. But at what point is the casting actually being detrimental to the community and the scene? Gormisa will be the best caster? Okay. Yeah, I mean, the casters aren't awful, but they aren't really putting anything into cast that's new. Yeah. Go ahead, Lord Wizkid. Take it away. Would you like to start ranting? Start ranting.
Alright. Okay. So, also, hi. This is just a very small rant, but my god, has SPL actually gotten boring this split? It is actually not, it's so boring to watch. Because right now, there is no reason to watch SPL. The biggest thing that came out of last weekend was that Epsilon secured first seed in EU. Like, whoop-de-doo. Like, that was known to happen already. There was nothing really obvious to actually do anything. It just kind of sucks to watch now.
Okay. I mean, what would you say makes it sucky to watch, though? Like, do you have any specific things?
One of the biggest problems, in my opinion, is the fact that there's just... Sorry about the cars. It's 1 in the morning. Honestly, it's 1 in the morning that is like that outside.
Get the fuck inside! Yeah.
I know. But yeah, basically the biggest problem I have right now is just that the players are so good at what they do almost that there are very few kills that happen.
Yeah.
Or when there are lots of kills, it's because it's a very one-sided game and they just wreck everyone. Right now, I just want to see a game where it's pretty evenly balanced and there's a whole lot of action going on. Because right now we're just sitting around listening to F. Dot talk about hot dogs for 10 minutes.
He likes his hot dogs. Do you think it has a lot to do with the actual meta of the game?
I think it's partially to do with meta, and it's also partially to do with what happens in every single game. Of everyone starts playing safe because they want to win. And the more they the more they want to win, the more they play safe, the less action happens, and the more boring a game gets.
I mean, I think meta has a lot to do with it. I haven't liked this new meta in the season 2 meta at all, like ever. I loved season 1 meta because there was so much more risk. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more risk. It is you have to go early or you lose. Right now, it's everyone sits back until right at the end when suddenly there's either a giant push and someone wins, or it's just such a slow death by cut scenario where eventually you just lose and you didn't have any way of getting back into it. I think the biggest thing is every single time I try and play ADC in either casuals or ranked, right now every single time I see my support go in, die, and then I'm behind, and I can't get that back without doing something extra on top. But I can't do anything extra on top because of the fact that there's no way to actually snowball back up.
Yep.
The way they've taken out snowball has actually removed everything to make sure that there's no mechanics to get back into the game. There's only mechanics to advance, of which is not fast enough unless you are lucky and the enemy team misplays, which right now they're not going to misplay, especially in something like the SPL.
Yeah. I know that... Damn it, I forgot how I was going to say it. It used to be a lot more intense. They removed a lot of things and they changed around a lot of the map to make it less snowbally, and now you've just got this meta that everybody, like you said, plays safe until late game where they go in and try for a team fight. Either they win and then they win the team fight and then they win the game, or they lose the team fight and the enemy team wins the game. It always lately has been coming down to one fight towards the end of the game and then everybody dies and that's it. Or almost everybody dies.
We can actually, as much as I don't actually feel like he is a good player, and I won't get into that, he does have some interesting ideas about the game, of the fact that there are a set amount of team fights right now, and they are at certain positions, and you can see it every single time you actually watch SPL. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and 25 minutes. After that, the team fights can be whenever, and they will decide the game pretty much.
Yeah.
You can't. After that, you are going to lose the game if you lose a team fight after that point. But those specific team fights, then that means that actually you have to know which team fights you're going to win. You have to know which team fights you've got to be in position to win. And if you can't win those last couple of team fights, because you're not likely to end before the 25-minute mark. It is usually between 21 to 30 minutes. That is the current end time of games. So you've got to either be winning the 20-minute fight or the 25-minute fight, or you've got to win the 5-minute fight and get so far ahead.
Our Discord dropped. Are you there again?
Yes, I am back.
Okay, well, I don't know if it kicked me or did it kick all of us?
I think it gives you.
Okay. Works for me. Continue.
But basically, you either got to win the early game or you got to win the late game.
Yep.
And the way you got to win the early game is you got to be so far ahead by the time you win early. So the 10-minute point, you have to be about 10,000 gold ahead or so. Well, not that much, but you get the idea. You have to be so far ahead that they can't catch up no matter what they do.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I mean, what makes it worse, and this is a rant, I'm going to put it out there. No one has actually said anything about this apart from a couple of times. Gold Fury is bugged in health.
Oh, how so?
Every single time you kill it twice, on the third time it will respawn with a different amount of health from what it should for its current progression. And when I say that, I mean if you kill it at the 14-minute mark for the second time, it should respawn at the 19-minute mark with 19 minutes worth of health. Instead, it will respawn at the 30. Well, it will respawn with 33 minutes of health, I think it is. It's basically double the time you killed it. And this happens on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th Gold Furies. As far as I know, it will double the amount of health, and that works with the gold and the XP.
So it'll double the amount of health and gold that you get that it's worth?
Yes. But up to the limit that it has, which is the 350.
So make it stupidly simple numbers. So like on the first Gold Fury that you, or the one that's number 2, you get 10 gold. The second one or the third one, you're supposed to get 20 gold, and then you suddenly get 40.
Gold Fury, you start off at 10 minutes. It's I think it's when it first spawns, it's 100 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Every minute, I think it's an extra 10 gold on top of that. So theoretically, it should get to max gold at 25 minutes.
Yep.
With this bug, you can get it to max gold at, let me think about it. If you kill it twice, you have to have at least, effectively, if you kill it right at the start, so at the 9-second mark, and then again at the 5-minute 10 mark, you could effectively get it to be full 350 gold at, I think, about 11 minutes. Somewhere along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that seems like an issue.
Yeah. And
like
the more important thing is it scales with it scales the health, so that means that any team that's behind is going to have it make it slower to actually kill the Gold Fury.
Yeah, they're going to have a hell of a time trying to kill it.
Yeah. And to put it into perspective, just to show how real this is, look back at the Challenger Cup tournament. I know this is a bit of this is a bit of self-promotion here, but
that's fine.
The Challenger Cup tournament on Sunday, the last game, we had 5 Gold Furies die. The Fire Giant was at about 14,000 health when it died at the 31-minute mark or so. The Gold Fury respawned about 4 minutes afterwards and had 21,000 health.
Interesting.
Yeah, and very few people actually know about that bug. It's one that Hi-Rez have tried to hide for quite a long time.
They're trying to hide it! They've got it out for you!
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the reason they're trying to hide it is because it's such a game-breaking bug, and it apparently affects the Fire Giant as well.
I was going to say, does it affect the Fire Giant and how it respawns with health and various things?
Yes, apparently it does. I haven't tested it to confirm it, but according to Hi-Rez, it does. I found this bug out, I think this was about after a month of Season 2 being released, me and Flebig found out about this bug. We were testing it together, and I thought I was seeing numbers. Turns out I wasn't.
Awesome. So that could be a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it means it's really difficult for current teams to actually catch up, because, of course, the best way to catch up is either go for objectives or Gold Fury. And if the objectives are too difficult to go for, you go for Gold Fury, and you'd think it would be easier. But then that happens.
Yep. And it's not. It's not easier. It's like, we might as well take in the Fire Giant. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
There's more.
Exactly. Like you can actually watch it if you go watch SPL. You can sometimes see the teams take longer than they should at the Gold Fury fight, and no one really knew why. It was just like they were just sitting there, and it's like, why the hell aren't they DPSing this faster enough? Like, surely they just need to use this ability. Wait, they just used it. What? Why is it not taking damage? But the way Hyros have got the SPL set up, you can't actually see the numbers of Gold Fury health. It's very tiny up in the top left corner,
Yeah.
and they minimized it all the way down so you can't see any numbers on that thing. You can only know if there's a fire giant up or a Gold Fury up. You can't tell what time it's going to be up for, and how many people have got it. And I think that is actually partially to hide that bug.
Awesome. Well, F-Swag says that he would like you to text him about it, so that way, send him a message somewhere about it, so that way he can get them to look at it.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that after. Like I told Pompon about it ages ago, and they just said they were going to leave it in the game. But I'll send it over to you as well.
Cool. Well, that's one nice little bit of renting, and it's a bit of brokenness there, in the sense that it's not acting like it should. Yeah, we have a bit of an issue. Having a bit of an issue there. So, do you have anything else you'd like to bitch and complain about first? WizKid. I don't see my thing moving on Discord. I think we broke it. I think we broke it! Did I break it? Wait, wait. Is it gonna go? Apparently it can't find the endpoint. Funny bug. And I was hoping this would be pretty good. There we go. I can see again. Yay.
Yeah.
I can see with eyes for the sounds. So was there anything else you wanted to bitch about before we cut it and let somebody else get on?
I don't really want to bitch about anything else that I can think of, but I will say, one thing I do like is the way Hyros are starting to do balancing now in terms of like the small little tweaks. I do love that from Hyros, and it's something I want to see more of, and I can't wait for the next patch notes to see that, because I think it can be the way forward for how we run this meta.
Good. That's good.
Anyway, I'll let you be, and I'll see you around.
No, thank you. Alright, so we have Quiet Gale, who would like to say something, but I gotta figure out how to get him on the audio. Which is nice about the Discord app, because it's an app and you can get it from your phone and it's all free. And we have some people in chat asking, what is this? Basically, this is going to be bitch about everything that has to relate to Smite. Let's see, as soon as he can... We have voice channels, maybe? If you're on a phone? So, and the thing was earlier about how I was talking with F-Dot over Twitch, or over Twitter, not Twitch, and basically he was saying that we need more web shows. I was like, I'm gonna do a web show, but the problem is the fact that there was other people in there that were complaining the fact that unless you really know people or you already have an established, like I already have an established following in Smite, and that's probably what 90% of the people that are watching are, is people that have previously watched me in Smite. And so they're like, oh my god, he's streaming Smite stuff. And they're like, yay. So, what would it be like for a new person to try and stream a podcast of Smite? It wouldn't go anywhere, because they would need some serious help to get there. But that's where people like F-Dot want to find out where this content's coming from and then help them grow. But F-Dot's the only one. Everybody else up there, they don't care what kind of podcast or anything happens. So, Quiet Gale, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes! Go for it!
Awesome. Awesome, dude.
Let the bitch fest begin.
All I have to, before I start bitching, everything I say is probably going to sound wrong or off because I've only recently joined the Smite community. We have like 150 hours. But
Not
since
bad.
I started playing, about a year ago or something, I only started getting serious recently. But since I started playing, they've introduced a lot of new guys, Bologna, who I actually like, but she's broken.
Uh-huh.
But I've noticed there's been a trend, like Bologna, Applash, so on and so forth. The gods have become increasingly broken. And it seems to have reached this head with Soul, who can basically take half of your health at late game with her two, and you won't see it coming. And then two of her auto attacks can kill you, and she can melt towers before like 2 minutes into a joust. She can end the game so quickly it's not even funny.
Yep.
Like you just can't like when I try to play Joust a lot, and if I'm playing her in 1v1, it's over every time. And the only way I can get past her is to try and use an Aegis, or I can try and blink up to her. But then her three, it comes out so fast, and it gives her like what 4 seconds of immunity to everything. That at that point she can just juke you and just blow you up again.
Yep.
It confuses me as to why they allow these gods to come out so broken, and it seems like they're fixing them less and less. Because even with Applash, you can basically carry an entire Joust game on your own, or if you're really good at juking, you can kill everyone in Conquest, which is why he's a top ban now.
So I take it you mostly played Joust?
Yeah, I mostly play Joust, but I've been trying to transition it into Conquest, which is something else I wanted to bitch about, is that I've found it very daunting to try and go pro, even as I'm trying to get my mastery in casual, because I'm noticing that I wait all this time for a queue in Conquest. I jump in, and then there's nothing but toxic players. And I try to tell people, oh, I'm new to Conquest, I'm new to jungling, or I'm new to whatever, and they're like still bitching at me for every little thing I do. Like, it doesn't matter how good I'm doing. If I miss one thing, someone will nitpick it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they will try to throw the match for it.
But how do you fix that's the question.
I have no clue, but it's weird that I've been like looking more into the community, and it's like I'm just seeing this coincidence of everyone talking about the same thing. The community has somehow crashed headfirst into the ground out of nowhere at the start of season 2. Apparently, that's what it sounds like.
I would agree.
I really want to go pro, but I'm just kind of I'm afraid to go pro. I'm afraid to start really dedicating myself to this. You know?
Yeah, also, the problem that you have getting into the pro scene, aside from getting good enough to play in it, is it's going to sound funny, but basically the incestuous relationships that they have up there, where it's going to get past all the other pro players who maybe haven't played in a while, but they want to come back now, or whatnot.
What is Polar Bear Mike, Alex?
What?
I'll take Polar Bear Mike for 500, Alex.
Yes, but he's one out of how many? I've seen this.
But
I've been to every event that Smite has had from its beginning, and it's the same people from the beginning. All of them. Polar Bear Mike's the newest person I met. He's the only person I did not recognize at the COG Invitational.
That's
You recognized Baskin? Really?
Yep. No, I didn't. Baskin and
Exactly.
Meerkat were one of the other few.
Uh-huh. Meerkat has been playing for a while.
He has been playing for quite a long time. So is Aurora and Kabam, those guys. But it's if you want to look at the players who are getting very high in the tops, because they've been playing it forever.
Of course. And when it comes to playing, there's definitely a little bit of a barrier of entry. But at the end of the day, solid play is solid play. Polar Bear, who is on a top team? I mean, It's possible.
But
it's just
somebody
a
had to
matter
give
of
him that big break as another key.
Exactly. That totally had to happen. And I mean, a little bit different than the conversation we had earlier that I think sparked the show. But the play is definitely there is a little bit of a upper echelon group of people, so to speak, but similar to our original conversation, if you work hard enough, people will notice.
Yep.
Shouts to Polar Bear Mike.
Yep. But the question is, how many people that are better than Polar Bear Mike that still have not been noticed? Maybe they've been playing ranked for far longer and they've been passed over. You know, we will never know. I mean, that's just
Right,
it's
so
the nature of everything
yes,
that has
I'm
to do with that.
wondering. So I'm like wondering, like, how does someone get into the pro scene, especially when you have people like DM Brandon around, which scares me even further because I've only witnessed one incident with him, but it seems like it's been going on forever, and they're not going to do anything about him, which sets like the worst precedent I've ever seen for a community.
Can't speak to that directly, obviously.
Yep. No, you can't. I can't. But you can't.
Exactly. And that said, I don't think that whatever Brandon has done affects the pro scene outside of the situation during the combine last year, which I actually will always back him up for, because a lot of that stuff is your stream, Demon. A lot of that shit was taken out of context. Basically, what it comes down to, Quiet, is that a big part of just being a public face in general is dealing with nonsense. I am a commentator. Every day the SPL ends, do you have any idea what my mentions look like? I get everything from fat to other words I can't say. I get called stupid. I do get called smart.
And that's another thing I've been thinking about that too. I've been wondering, like, you know, what if Brandon is just like a really honest guy and how he expresses himself, and everyone just like goes nuts whenever he like gets pissed at someone.
Well, I was looking there's a lot of history with Brandon.
Like, I mean,
he's been in the community since pretty much the start. For anybody that doesn't know, I'll run through the very short history. I'll condense it down. Back in the day, way before anything happened, Brandon became known in the Smite community. Mainly the thing that got him known, like well-known around the community, was his top 5 pro player list when the game was like maybe 6 months old.
Adonis
everybody lost their shit. So everybody like turned on him, and he was just like considered the cancer of the community. And then somewhere, Hi-Rez hired him to do the 2013 PAX Invitational administration and semi-casting. Didn't he end up casting that? I'm pretty sure, as well. That was a whole debacle that happened with that after he had to disqualify SK, and Sayo got all pissed off, and everybody had all sorts of mess with that. And then he eventually got hired on to cast after doing various things. And so then that's what he's been doing since then, is casting. But I would still argue the fact that I don't care if it's for stream or just for show. It's bad.
Sure, and that's not. I am not here to talk about that in the slightest. What
I know.
Basically, I was going. What I was saying was, Quiet Gal mentioned that it sort of scares him as a pro to think that DM Brandon is people like DM Brandon is out there insinuating that people like DM Brandon means people with loud negative opinions. Not going to speak about Brandon specifically, but yes, there are many people with loud negative opinions, and no matter if you are a pro gamer or have a really cool Instagram account, people are going to hate on you. And that's how that works. So, like, I mean, again, Brandon specifically is a different story because he's affiliated with a company, and that is a whole separate conversation that I am not inviting myself into. But the idea of people talking shit, well, frankly, there is more to being a pro gamer than being really good at Smite. That's like, I would say, a third, and that's being conservative. You have to be good at Smite. You have to be good at conducting yourself like a human being, and you have to be thick-skinned. You can't call people retarded on public media, and you can't cry when somebody calls you shitty. Neither of those things have anything to do with Smite, but they're just as important. If you
wait a minute, I'm gonna stop you there. You brought up the retarded thing?
I'm just saying.
But no. But he's just a player. You're talking about Best calling. God, I forgot his name suddenly.
Did I say that? I was just saying in
general. I know what you're talking about, though, and so does everybody else here. Stop it, you crazy man. That in the same sentence, like in the same 30 seconds, Bart calls Aurora an idiot for no reason. Like, I just watched the interview. It could be out of context.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap. But I was just watching the interview, and for what it seemed as they weren't talking about Aurora, they weren't saying anything specific. Maybe they did bring it up with the fact that Best likes to talk about people, but it's just like, Aurora's an idiot. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll be the context provider there.
Yes,
I guess
please.
I guess it was taken wrongly. But throughout that broadcast, we were reminiscing, I guess is the word, positively about our times with Aurora and how funny he is and I mean, his quote of the Cognitive Gaming Invitational was, "What if a pizza had legs? It just walked away," right? And so it was two things. One, it was like not a actual "you're an idiot." It was what word am I searching for? Whatever it was not meant to be taken literally as he's an idiot. They called him a goofball right afterwards. I think that's the word they were looking for. And secondly, I don't care if the Best, in my personal opinion, not an admin, don't have any influence in that world. If I was the admin, it's a much different situation if Best calls somebody an idiot versus using the R word. That is where maintaining yourself as a real adult comes into play. Not talking shit. You want to call somebody an idiot. Again, not an admin, but it's a much different world than using that other word. That's what I was talking about.
True.
All right, I think that's what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
As I say, do you have anything else, Quiet Gale?
Let me think. I had one other question or two. I wanted to know, how do you start up a pro team, or how do you start a competitive team? I wouldn't say pro exactly, because what if you just want to go to the Challenger Cups? You just want to get known. You just want to be seen. You just want to be in that ethos or environment, and you just want to do the best you could possibly. How do you find people who are like-minded when you don't have anyone in your immediate vicinity? Like, do you just have to play and like pray that you stumble into people, or do I start getting more involved? Do I start streaming? Do I start playing with streamers? How exactly does this whole thing work? And that's just my biggest question.
I'd say find a community, hang out in pro streamers, see who you see a lot of that are talking about it that may not necessarily be on the team, so that way, it's not like I'm trying to get on an SPL team, even though I've been playing for like 3 months or, something like that. But you want to play with people that are going to take the game semi-seriously. And, that's just find a group of people. Preferably, I would say find a streamer that streams the game and then look for communities that he runs and various things. And there are probably people in there that would be very happy to play with you. That's pretty much that.
My personal input is ranked Quiet Gale. Basically, it's very much not a meritocracy. And I will make no bones about that. There is definitely a sort of click, if you will. But the secret password to that click is not sucking. And there's a very big feeling of elitism, totally. But if you're Masters or what's higher, Platinum or Diamond? I don't know anything about ranked. Whatever.
I think Diamond is.
Well, whatever. My point is, if you're high up on the ladder and you're in curse every game like you should be in ranked, right? It'll be hard for people to ignore you, right? And you'll wind up playing with the same people over and over again because of matchmaking and stuff, and you'll sort of make friends or connections rather by proximity and just hanging out in the same spots. And then from there, you have 4 people that and you're on a team with them, right? Now you scrim other people, now 10 people. They let the other team they scrim, now 15 people. So that's really, there's totally a wall or a click, but if you're good, they're not going to ignore you.
True. I mean, Adamus put it best. The secret password to the higher echelons is Masters. When you start getting into the ranked games with all the pros, and they start to see your name a lot, then they tend to, say, oh, I saw this guy over here. If you guys are looking for some random person to play challenges with or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How that works. Other than that, I mean, hell, go look on Challengers Cups rosters and message somebody. Be like, hi, can I play?
Exactly. Yep.
Don't be shy. That's pretty much it. You gotta bully your way up there. You can't just kind of get there and then sit quietly and hope somebody picks you.
Huge point. I mean, just like any job, if you try to be a pro gamer or a manager at Radio Shack, you got to network, right? So
yeah. No, I definitely get you. All right, so I think I'm gonna hop out and let the next person get on and rank.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining me, Quiet Gale.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be in the stream. I'll be chatting.
Thanks, man.
Good luck.
It's Quiet Gale, F. not Gal, please. Reading
I said
hard.
Quiet Gale.
You said Quiet Gal.
Well, that was my accent or something. I don't know.
Boston.
How have you been? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I've been fine. It's been like a whole 3 weeks. I've been fine.
Right, we were in California together. I forgot.
Yeah, I was there too. GG. So, Frost.
What's up?
I hear you wish to come in and complain and rant.
Yeah, I kind of came in the middle of that. What are we complaining about? I love complaining.
Whatever you would like to bitch or complain about that is Smite related. It can be people, places, things, gods,
Smite
items.
related, all of it.
I mean, go right ahead. Because what I feel is
what
that...
have we already gone through so I'm not, redundant?
Soul, Broken Gods, I forgot what was... I've now blanked on anything else. I'm a very one-tracked mind.
Did we already go over F-Dot's complaint about getting more heads in the community?
Yeah.
We did?
Oh, yeah?
I don't think
what was the main complaint about that? The whole clicks and everything.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm here. I didn't want to co-host your show without being invited, Demon. I wanted to give my 2 cents. Essentially, so earlier today, if anybody's unfamiliar with me out there, I am Tom, otherwise known as F. I'm a commentator for the Smite Pro League, and I work full time in their office doing Pro League related shit. And where I started was as a content creator. I had a stream and I streamed, and then I streamed on a small channel called Tier Monster, and a hop, skip, and a jump, I was casting some weeklies, and now I work here. So that's sort of the history. And what I noticed was that when I was not employed, even before I was contracted, I had a morning radio show where I would do 7 to 10, essentially on Tier Monster, basically just sports radio. Didn't have any call-ins because that was too technologically advanced for me, but I would just take questions from chat and blah, blah, blah. In addition to that, I did a weekly podcast it started with me, Octane Pro, and Fats, and we rotated some people out. Ultimately, it was me, Octane Pro, and Smitten. FG3000 made an appearance. Basically, my point was that there was a little bit of content, and yes, I have ceased making that content, and that totally blows. I'd like to say it's because I'm not. It's not because I'm lazy, but because I have other work to do. But realistically, I could probably do both. I just don't, and that bothers me.
I definitely share your feelings with the lack of content.
Right.
Because let's see, I was talking to Repicos the other day, and he's like, "You need to get into League of Legends, man." And I'm like, "I don't know anything about League of Legends, so just look up some content for it." And you get so much. You get creative content, you get educational stuff, you get everything. And why are we lacking this? Then there's the other flip of the coin where some people are like, well, it's hard to get noticed. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Not all the content is worthwhile.
Yeah,
exactly.
You will get noticed. There are people that I was on Twitter earlier saying that you're only here because of Tier Monster. Now, you worked hard for where you are. I can honestly tell you I did not. I got a pedestal off of Inuki and then friends with everyone else. there are more people in it now, and it's just so much easier to actually get noticed for quality than it was back then. Like, be honest with yourself. Your quality is what's going to hold you back.
Exactly. And I mean, there are people that responded to my tweet that were salty about not being noticed, have been noticed and not supported. Period. Flat out, not pulling punches.
Mhm.
I'm not going to retweet every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has a webcam. It's just not going to happen. But I can definitely tell you I have retweeted many community members of people that, like, community members is the wrong term, because one of the people that I supported the most, it was a dude with his own blog, and I'm horrible because I can't remember who he is or what he did or what his name was. He stopped, and that's a part of the problem. I had never heard of him. And he was like, "Hey, F-Dot, love your casting. Check out my analysis of this game." And I retweeted the shit out of that. I retweeted it. I tweeted it out personally the next day, and I did so for the next 3 articles he wrote. He was a literal nobody. Never heard of him before. These people that I recognize their names don't get the retweet because the quality's not there. And I'm by quality, I don't mean $200 After Effects maneuvers and all this stuff. I just mean good content. I mean,
It's interesting to watch in some form or fashion.
Exactly.
Pretty much. And then also something that's like worth afterwards to come check it out, because I've got people that are sending me, "Hey, I just made a montage. Can you retweet?" and all that. It's like, I want people to trust me when I say, "Hey, come watch this," not, "Hey, come just look at something someone made."
Yeah.
You feel responsible in a way.
Oh, of course. And like, that's the thing. There are a lot of people trying to make funny videos that have, 10 subs on YouTube, or there are tons of people making tutorial videos, which tutorial videos, I'll give you, might be tougher to make because you need some sort of like, here's why you should listen to me. Here's why I know my stuff, right?
Yes. Big one there.
But you don't need any superlatives. You don't need a degree to make a video on why you think Cognitive Gaming is the best team in North America. You don't need to have previously been a pro player to make a video on why Titan is bad. You don't need to make a video. You don't need a history in competitive gaming or need to know Bart by last and first name in order to make a YouTube video on a problem that the SPL has.
You don't need it, but you can get discredited. I remember I would have discussions with people, and I'm not going to name any pros or whatever, but they would just jump at it. "Oh, I'm sorry, who are you? What pro team do you play for again?"
Pretty much.
Sure.
Oh, okay then.
You just gotta get run out of town by him.
I'll just wait till I'm pro.
Yeah.
And I mean, that happened to me.
Yeah.
I kept doing it. And like I said, I mean, maybe it's just I still finish a cast and then look at the shit that people talk and get upset. I'm not particularly thick-skinned, but that's a part of it. People are going to come and watch your stream and say, "Why should I care?" And you should say, "Because I care." And when they say you're dumb, oh well, keep on going, because it's just one person.
Huh, I would have thought you were the thicker of the skins.
I mean, I totally am, right? But
I totally got sick.
I mean, like, that's definitely something that I struggle with is taking things to heart at the end of the day.
But if you don't take anything to heart, then you're just a douche and you never improve.
Exactly. So it's that, and that's really where it is, where I am very thick-skinned when it comes to the outside world or whatnot. But obviously, this is one of my biggest passions, and because I am so willing to improve, I am also. It's sort of like the port that you use to improve is the same port that you use to get burned, and that sucks sometimes, you know?
You gotta learn it just... It's like making a nice sword or something. If you use too much heat, it's just gonna break and fall apart and there's nothing left. But if you use just enough, it's gonna come out perfect. That's the only thing I can think of that involved heat.
Yeah, so I mean, like in one form, you have to listen to the feedback, but in the other form, it's a bunch of 15-year-olds calling your analysis incorrect because you're not a Masters player. But at the end of the day, your analysis is correct, and you know it better than them.
But you
it
don't
doesn't
lash out
matter.
at them. But you don't lash out at them.
No, you don't lash out at them, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I'm good at. I don't lash out. I will
That's great.
usually respond sardonically or sarcastically.
That's how you
but
do
I
it.
won't lash out.
Yeah, I don't think we can expect them to be too professional. I think that's on us.
Yeah, of course, and that's definitely part of the gig. Bringing it back full circle. That's part of the gig as a caster, and as a content creator. I mean, people didn't really give me when I first started dishing out like hot takes on First Period. First Period was the name of my talk show, and when I first started to, it was a ramp up. The content originally was just like, here's the recap, and then it went into it. And when I first got the confidence to really, I called out Team Dignitas. This is a trip down memory lane. I called out Team Dignitas for not respecting Exertus Esports because there were some newer names on that team. Now, for the people that weren't following Smite back then, Team Dignitas was the #1 team with Zapman and Lazes, etc. And Exertus was a team with nobodies such as Barracuda and MLC Stealth.
Yep.
So I had a hot take that Dignitas wasn't respecting this team, and I took that to heart, and I bitched at them about it essentially on air. And a lot of people gave me nonsense, hey, this is garbage. Dignitas is a great team. Exertus, they're nobodies. Blah 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 blah. Well, fast forward, homeboy. Guess who was right, dog?
But you could probably pull that off better now. Like you say your opinion, and you've earned your place.
Sure.
Unlike someone else coming in, I don't think this team is as strong as they used to be. This player is probably lacking a bit. This one's gotten a lot better. And like, who are you? I'm sorry.
Exactly. But the thing is, I have that ability now. I have a little bit more credibility or credit, I guess, because I just kept doing it. And a couple of people that responded to my original tweet were like, I started to do it, but somebody else got noticed, so I stopped bothering. And that's not the first time I've heard that. And the idea of, you have to be in a clique, otherwise you can't do it. I wasn't in a clique. You might, if there is a clique, I would assume I'm in it now. How did I do that? I just kept doing it, right? Like, so to those people that say they get discredited or whatnot, yeah, I am still discredited to this day. Like,
I mean, you're in gold, so
yeah.
Am I still gold?
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't played in months. I thought I'd be silver by now. But in any event, like I'm still discredited. But I know what I know is correct, and I still am open to feedback and will change and will do things. Just this past week, somebody tweeted at me, I love his casting, but goddamn, do I hate hearing the word problematic every other sentence. And I listened to my cast. I totally said it every other sentence. Guess what I didn't say at all on Saturday? Problematic.
It's the sports analysis that get me.
Yep.
So I'm still wide open to feedback, but you also have to know what is right and what is wrong. So especially when you're a new content creator, and the signal to noise ratio is the most important thing that you have to figure out as a new content creator. If you're giving out hot takes on esports and 80% of people say this guy is dumb, he doesn't know what he's talking about, who is he? And 15% of people say I like it, and then 5% of people say sure, I like it, but this could be improved. You listen to the 5%. You keep the 15% in mind, and you give the finger to the 80%.
Yeah, but not just that, though. You've also got to check your comments to your views, because I get a lot of flack for the Xbox top 5 plays, and someone said, "Oh, these comments are 80%. Everyone's angry, where most of it's PC angry at Xbox, Xbox angry at Xbox." I go back. I should look comment to views ratio. It's 99.6% of people are not saying anything. And that kind of took a load off.
That's also when it comes to things that you can quantify like YouTube views and stuff, that's also a big deal. Knowing that, yeah, you know, there's 10,000 people that watch this video. There's a lot of upvotes or thumbs ups, and there's 8 people in the comments telling me to die and kill myself. Well, that's 8 people out of 10,000 and 5,000 liked the video, right? You know, like that's, you got to put things into perspective. And at the end of the day, consistency and continuation is really, really key. I streamed for a month plus to 3 people. And then when I was lucky enough, and I say lucky enough, but for what it's worth, I sent emails to people working at Tier Monster asking if there were spots open with links to my previous streams. When I was lucky enough to get a stream slot at Tier Monster, I woke my ass up at 5:30 every morning to stream for 3 hours to 15 people. I was a 20-year-old kid, right? Or no, I was a 22-year-old kid, right? 22, well, shit, no, I was older. I was like, I'm 26 now. So I was 23, 24 years old. And I was in a band. I could have been partying. I could have been hanging out. But no, I went home every night at 10 p.m. to go stream at 6:30 in the morning. That's a thing. That's what you do. And I
so how long did this take you from like starting point to this is F dot now in Smite?
Let's see. I actually can tell you.
Almost 3 years? I remember you hanging out. I remember you hanging out in Beyond the Rifts chat.
Yeah.
And that was a long fucking time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, that whole, it takes forever to get noticed, and it was easier back then than it is now. Not at all. It took me 6 months.
Yeah, it took me, because I was basically a stream monster, and so straight up, my original super start of Smite was being the guy typing analysis into Smite game chat, and I'm sure Demon, at least, or somebody out there has to recognize the F swag from chat, where before I streamed to 3 people, I typed my gameplay analysis into Smite game chat and like just kept doing it so that when I came in, people would recognize the name. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a thing. You know, it's the grind. Like people, I mean, you got to think about it this way. Like how, I mean, I have a history in music, so that's my go-to, but art is, or any form of art or expression is a good example in the sense that like, you don't just go to school and get handed a job, even though that's not even that way these days. Right. But like,
I wish
for the people that are out there trying to make content, it's the end goal is to talk about video games and get paid for it. If you think that should be easy to do, you're already out.
Like, but damn it, this is easy. I'm just sitting behind a microphone bitching and stuff.
The end goal should be still enjoying your job and the community that you're with. You don't go into it like, hey guys, come on, like, subscribe, come on, give me everything. Like, no.
Even if money is the motivation, I don't disrespect that. But the motivation is the key. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? It's 2015 here. It's late 2015. What was it? Last year was the launch tournament, right? 14 was the launch tournament.
No. Last year was the Worlds. The year before that was launch. It's okay. Weird because Worlds was technically this year, but it was really last year because
right.
It was the first 4 days or 7 days of the year.
So January 15 was Worlds, and Springtime 14 was launch tournament.
Yes.
Which means Springtime 13 is when I got my gig at Tier Monster, which means
yes, which would have been around the time that the 2013 PAX tournament happened too.
Yeah. Yeah, which is when I first started watching Smite.
Did you start watching it because of PAX? Was it that tournament, or like what got you into Smite?
What got me into Smite was a friend wanted me to play MOBAs, and I always say no because of click to move. And then I came home drunk one day, and he tricked me into downloading Smite.
What?
That's the greatest thing I've heard all day.
And now you are a meme. How does it feel?
Yeah, and then like I had a life-changing moment and was out of work for a while, and in another drunken conversation, my friend said, "Hey, you could be one of those assholes on the Twitch. You could do it." And I said, "Nah," and he said, "Yeah," and I guess I could. So that's where I'm at. That's why I like streamed. So September 2013. So F dot joined in November. So you figure you add 8 months onto that. I was streaming by myself. So early 2013. It took me about 2.5 years to really do something with it. Yeah. That's what it's about. You can't, like, I have seen people put together 5 episodes of a podcast, get frustrated that 5 people watch it, and then walk away.
Oh, I know that story. I mean, Beyond the Rift went for 100+ episodes, and even towards the end when I was doing Smite stuff, it was still only getting, maybe 100 consecutive viewers on stream, because we streamed it a lot. I was very bad at the VODs, and that's something I needed to get a lot better on, but it was difficult. You know what's insanely frustrating is I had on Beyond the Rift before any of these people were really even big. I had Dyrus, I had Phantom Lord, I had these are all League of Legends people, but these guys were members of my podcast. Phantom Lord was a regular. He had no fucking viewers when he streamed. He was like, I'm going to be a fucking professional game player, and I'm going to play League of Legends professionally. The only reason we knew about him was because he was number 1 in the NA ladder, and one of my friends knew him, and they were like, yeah, I'll talk to him, see if he wants to be on the show. And, I mean, we had every, crap, I can't even remember all the people that were on the show back in the day. And then we moved over to Super Monday Night Combat, which is a flop. And then that's where we did, 1 episode of Tribes, and then we moved straight into Smite as soon as I saw it in PAX East 2012. I was like, we're doing Smite, boys. And so we started doing Smite. And then the greatest time I ever had in an episode of Smite was, you know what it is, F-Dot, don't you? He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh. I actually just watched that again recently, dude.
Good.
It's so funny. It's so funny because you watch who is in the middle? Is it Bart? And he's just like, this is happening.
Yes.
Oh shit. Like, he doesn't say anything, you just watch his face and he's like, yeah, it's going down. I'm yelling timber. Like, it's so good. But yeah, I mean, just to like clean up my point, it's just that, like, yeah, I am Mr. Hi-Res now. I work for the man, and I know that pisses people off, or they feel like I'm in some sort of clique. But for the people that didn't see the whole show and just came in for the end credits, like, I went from working at Verizon to streaming to nobody to streaming to 15 people. And because I just kept doing it and kept putting myself out there, kept making Reddit threads, kept tweeting, kept putting up stuff despite the fact that it wasn't popular yet, I then got bigger and bigger. And sure, I have much to learn and I have much to grow. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination I am perfect or at the pinnacle, but I worked and I am someplace else. And for the people that come at me and tweet, I can't do it because there's a click, or I can't do it because nobody notices, you're not putting enough work into promoting yourself. And if you stop bothering, or you just cease to be because there's not enough people watching, well, dedication's your problem.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. Like my friend Penguin of Death made his recent Stacker video for Smite. It was all over the place. Stu was retweeting it, saying this is what we need in the Smite community. You will get noticed. There are people who will promote you.
Yeah, especially in Smite. I mean, Stu is the president of the company and retweets random community members' videos with like 10 likes. There is no upper echelon. You must be this tall to ride. You must have this many followers to ride this ride.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
However, you do, as a content creator, want to make sure that you keep producing the content whether you're streaming it to nobody or not, because that one time that somebody retweets it, somebody big retweets it, like Gandhi says, you know what, I'm going to retweet this thing, and 60-something thousand followers get to go and check out your video, they're going to look at it. And they're going to have they're going to make their judgment in the first 10 seconds. And then, if they don't judge you right then, and they decide, I do like this video, they're going to go and look at your previous stuff. And if you have 2 videos, they're just going to close it and go on about their day. So, I mean, don't expect to be an overnight sensation with one video. I have a YouTube full of stuff, and, you know, I have been streaming for years, and I still haven't, quote-unquote, made it, I guess, would be the way of putting it. I mean, I have 79 viewers right now. I can't complain about that. I'm certainly happy.
We love each and every one of you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's dedication and it's proper promotion. If you make a video and tweet it once, that's a failure. You know, you have to do your homework. Like, I mean, you know how I got Stu to watch First Period in the morning? I got a book on social media, and I learned that tweeting out about your stuff at 11 a.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. is the best time to tweet things out. I did things like that. I looked at things like SEO. I did the homework. You can't just sit in front of a camera, push go, and then when 4 people like your video, complain that there's an Illuminati working against you, or you don't know DM Brandon, so you can't get famous, or you haven't paid your due. Like, that's not the case, dude. That's not the case. It's and I get agitated. I get agitated because I did it. And
you can swear, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
this is the bitching show.
I fucking did it, Demon. I did it, Demon.
There's children
and like,
there.
I'm not that cool. I'm not that special. I am not that talented in juxtaposition to the other people out there. I am not that hardworking in juxtaposition to the other people out there. And if I can do it, there are mad other people that can do it. So when I look at my Twitter feed and I just say, hey, it'd be awesome if there was more content. And I get bombarded with these people saying, no, you can't do it, when really exists, which is a conversation between Cret and I on Tuesdays. Spiff Sinister puts out a funny a parody of This Week Tonight. And besides that, there's no other talk content that is popular. I know Remedies hosts a podcast, and I know Homogeny Reigns, or however the hell you say that guy's name, hosts a podcast with M Target. They're not overly popular. And I'm not here to comment on that. But what I'm saying is that there is a huge room for content creation by the community. There is not an oversaturation of content. If this was a conversation about League of Legends, I might say there's an oversaturation of content. But this is Smite. I can count the content on 2 hands, and I can count the quality content on 1 hand. If you want to do it, just do it. Have the dedication. Because, goddamn, I am not the most dedicated person, and I pulled it off. I am sure there is somebody with a bigger work ethic that can do it. Because at the end of the day, I like Smite, and I want to see content. And I can't make content for me to watch, so somebody else should do it.
I feel like we've just connected.
There you go, F. Dot. See, now you can watch content that I'll make for you. How's that? Make you feel better?
Awesome. Like, you don't understand. Like,
it's going to be mostly bitching about Smite, but that's you're going to get to know what we think is wrong, because, you know, as they say,
not just for us,
you
just
know
for
the
others
most,
too.
You learn the most about yourself from your enemies.
Uh-huh.
So the people that don't like you, they're going to tell you straight up what they don't like about you. You're going to get to say, huh, maybe I should change that. I don't know, fuck them. Maybe not.
Well, it sounds like my day-to-day life of checking the people that mention me on Twitter. Or, God forbid, I read Twitch chat. Ooh.
It's not that bad.
That could stand to be more.
Game Twitch chat during SPL.
I actually will blame High Res for getting rid of most of the content. Because they hired all the content creators.
Sure. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Driver, Pon. I mean, Caps Lock. Caps Lock didn't do a ton, but he did stream some. Damn it, who else? Bart, Kelly. Who else have they hired? I can't think of all the people off the top of my head, but it's just a myriad of people that have made Smite content that now work at Hi-Rez and don't make the content.
That's
anymore.
true. Hi-Rez has hired a lot of the content creators, which is cool. That's a positive in my eyes, right?
Where is know your enemy? Dang it!
It is, but be careful when you go throwing stones, saying suddenly we have no content anymore. I'm sorry, you keep hiring everybody.
No. It's not throwing stones. I'm not saying like curse you community for not making content. I'm saying like, yo, there's holes now, and that's specifically what I did.
Yep.
I didn't just say, I like this game, I'm going to stream me playing this game. I looked at the scene and looked for a hole. And you know what hole was there? Nobody had a talk show about Smite esports. So that's what I did.
There's a few, but this not very popular.
Well, I mean, back when I started, that's why I did what I did. I chose something I found a hole to stick something in, because that's what I do.
Hey.
Shout outs to Cret, though.
If you're out there making a guide on how to play Circuit, good luck, because Weekend's already done it.
No, not even that. I started off a bit with guides as well, but it wasn't like, this is how you play Ymir. No, this is how you don't be stupid with a Ymir wall. And to be fair, I think it rode more like, oh, he's got a decent voice. Like, well, I guess I got to milk it now.
Exactly. And you found your hole, and you stuck your voice in it, right? Like that's
stuck it real good.
Gotta find your
it in there
niche.
nice and deep.
You gotta find your niche. With whatever content you're doing, you gotta find the niche that works for you, whether it be casual gameplay that's somehow entertaining. You're a professional player, and this is what you do. You teach people how to play. You're a professional player, and you shit all over nerds, and you tell them how bad they are. You're a professional commentator, and you tell kids to go die. I mean, all sorts of stuff like that. It's just what you do as a niche. And there's all sorts of niches to be filled. As it sounds very sexual, but we'll leave it at that.
Exactly. There's that was really my key, is that there's tons of niches. I mean, right now, first period doesn't exist.
Incon kind of holds first period, I think.
How do you mean?
I've meant like more. I mostly refer to streaming mostly, because that's what I do a ton of. But first period, I would assume you mean early in the day.
Well, no, I mean the idea that like a one-man talk show. That doesn't exist. They took, what was it? Head On or Face Off. That lasted for like a month, right? Yep. There's no debate show. Really is similar, but those types of shows are driven by personalities and individuals. You can go make your own talk show. You can go do that. There's tons of holes. So when people tell me that there's no room, I don't buy it. When people tell me that there's a click, I don't buy it. It's just work harder on it. So
I don't have a click.
Yeah.
No.
Of course, you got a click. His name's Inuki. Shut up.
Inuki's not very gangster.
Oh, he's totally gangster.
Yeah. Basically, my jam is just that there's a lot of room in the Smite community for almost anybody to go ahead and make a video or a series or a stream, and quality is noticed and appreciated. I will tell you right now, I make no bones about it. People have given me heads up to bad content, and I don't talk about it because, I mean, I'm not in the business of shitting on people, really. And if it's not good enough, I'm not going to put my name on it. Right? Like there's a certain expectation of, my followers. If I retweet something, it's going to be worth their time. I'm not going to retweet nonsense, right? deamonmachine, you've done this before. I have a certain expectation of the level of quality you're going to bring. Good. So I tweeted you out. That's awesome. That's really cool. So like that's the idea. I will help, and other people that I tell to help will help support quality content. But the content has to be quality. And if you don't get noticed the first time, how could I help you out the second time?
Exactly.
That's why I don't get F-dot tweets.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that's really my 2 cents, is that it's totally available and easier to find than people think, or easy to do than people think, and it just requires some nose to the grindstone effort. And I don't take excuses.
No excuses. All right, get off my phone, F. Dot.
See ya. Love you.
Love you too. Bye. Frost, do you have anything you want to bitch about? Well, you're here.
I could go on forever. The game, the matchmaking, it's so much.
There's so much. Well, it sounds like I have plenty of content to make.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I could just be here all night talking
We'll be here for weeks.
Good God.
Well, crap, I didn't use my intro. Oh, well. Next time. Go ahead, Frost. Is there anything you want to say, or should I get on to the next ranter?
I think it's best to probably just follow, like, if you have a structure, go with that, because I'll just be all over on different tangents.
Okay. All right. Well then, let's go to Daddy. Daddy, unmute.
Hi.
And start ranting, sir.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing, buddy?
So where do you want me to start?
Let's try, since we're already an hour and 18 minutes into the show, let's try to keep it at about 5 minutes and pick your favorite spot.
Well, I mean, like, I've got, like, solo lane stuff to bitch about. I've got, like...
Which one's your favorite, though?
Community
which
members. I'll do solo lane first.
Okay.
First of all, fuck Bluestone. God damn it. Like, why is that item in the game? I just want to be able to play silly as fuck gods in solo lane, but Wukong hits me with a fucking cudgel in a casual game for like 1 billion fucking damage. 9.5 billion damage. Got a bit fucking confused there. And then there's like, oh, fine, I'll just go somebody tanky like Xing Chen. Then people build fucking Stone of Gaia. It's the ultimate game of nobody does any damage ever.
Except
ever.
when they're doing damage to you, of course.
No. They don't do damage with that item. They have no damage with that item. You have no damage because it's Stone of Gaia, so nobody dies.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay.
We got that down.
Like, that's like it, really. I mean, like, Mystical Mail's like, alright. It's not that bad.
Okay, so basically you're just bitching about some small problems in solo lane. Do you have anything larger that you would like to complain about? Anything bigger? Because that was really detrimental, and I feel like I may have been taken slightly aback about playing solo lane, and I might look at playing Hunter again.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Anyway, so now I have 2 community members that have been on my nerves right now. One of them I used to watch a lot, and then he just stopped playing Smite.
Ha!
It made me really sad. And
was it Nah?
No, it wasn't Nah. I'm not gonna name any names, but Demon, I'm not naming any names here. Please.
No, it was me.
But it was Demon, right? It was Demon, right?
DJ, wait on your turn, please. Jeez, the hell. Anyway, so yeah, the person who I'd really like to hang at a stream more, but I don't find Arc interesting. I'm sorry, Demon. I don't find Arc interesting. Anyway, but yeah, I'm happy to support you and all that shit with whatever you do. If you need help, message me. Cool. And also, there's another certain community person who tweeted out something asking for help, and he, for some reason, took mine as an insult, even though it was just, like, criticism, kind of. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you're a shitty person, or any of that. It's just like, hey,
This is the stream where we don't pull punches. You must name names. That's gonna be my fucking rule on this. If you're gonna call people out, you can't do it anonymously and pansily.
But what if he's listening right now?
And then you're gonna fucking tell him to his face.
Gross.
If you've got the balls to bitch about something, you got to be able to look the person in the eye and be like, I fucking hate what you did.
F. Dot.
There you go.
F. Dot tweeted out about wanting some help with his casting. I was like, hey, I don't really like your tone. Like, it's nothing like personal or anything. It's just like old DM Brandon kind of things. You know that, like how he kind of used to be with the kind of a dick to everything. I mean, he is kind of a dick still, but he's not the like, oh, I know everything about this game right now, which is kind of what I've seen from F Dot, which is, you know.
So you feel
Just-
F Dot's being a little overly crass in his opinions of himself and his. Explain it a little better.
Yeah. As you know, I tried tweeting to him, and 140 characters, and I'm very bad at words in the first place.
Okay.
So all that shit went, and he mistook it for me saying that he was like terrible, and then he just started ignoring me. It was just like, this isn't criticism. This isn't about my casting. What the hell? And I was like, no, I just generally don't like your like ideas and your like.
When he's casting,
this is what's going on. Yeah, I
okay,
honestly
so you
find
don't like it
his
when
cast
F-Dot
kind of
alludes
unbearable.
to what the pros are supposed to, what they're going in to do Gold Fury, and they're going to do this right now, and then they're going to look to pick this guy over here instead of just calling it as it's happening.
I don't know. It's hard. It's just like something about his
DM
tone.
right now,
It's
though.
kind of like
His
DM's
tone.
not like that at all. Like right now, DM is probably the best caster that they have. Like I'm not like I'm fine
Matter
with
of opinion.
Oh, okay, Trevor. Okay, no, Trevor. Whatever. All right. So, DM Brandon has definitely been on the upswing, and I'm not sure whether it might just be. I'm not sure, but it feels like his tone needs to get changed a bit, where it's not like, oh, this is what I think that they should do, so they should do it. It should be more like, oh, this is more like seeing what they're going to do.
I don't blame them on that. And this is not to like
Yeah.
a personal thing. I think it's a lot of this is textbook casting, so they're gonna tend to sound that way because this is what they're learning. This is we're getting some cookie cutter casting, and I'm not asking. You have to be confident. Okay, so they come off as maybe sometimes a little cocky, and that's good. But while you're learning these textbook casting things, you could still stand to be your own person. I was just saying yesterday to somebody, a lot of the casters I find almost cast the exact same way with the same inflections, and if one comes off as cocky, the other one could as well, just because they use the same exact style.
The main thing I'm guessing I'm trying to get at is like, for instance, like Bart and DM, they explain what they're doing right now and why they're doing it. Whereas F Dot's like, they're probably going to do this, and this is probably what's going to happen, and this is, like, kind of assuming what somebody's going to do. Rather than, what they're doing.
Isn't that kind of in the job description?
Not really, because you're not a
Well, I mean,
fortune
now
teller.
we're just going to get into
you're
the
a
debate of what a
caster.
caster's job is. Which
You're not a
is, the
fortune teller,
caster's job
you're
is
a
to
caster.
entertain
I'm
the
not saying-
stream and tell people what's going on. And to possibly
Yeah,
give their own opinions. That's where... There's all sorts of different ways that you can do
Again,
color commentary,
nothing-
all sorts of stuff like that.
Nothing bad to F Dot. Like, I think he's pretty good. Like, as a caster, he's definitely not the worst caster, and all that. He's pretty. I don't know. Yeah, he's pretty. He's pretty. Definitely.
He's very
Pretty
pretty.
on cam. Yeah,
He's very pretty man.
Very pretty. But like, he mistook me for like me trying to just BM him when I was just kind of saying what I was trying to put across. I'm really bad at words.
That's okay. Well, that's good though, Denny.
Lost in translation of my thoughts.
All right.
Wow.
we'll go
the
on to another one.
ZZZ in stream.
That's fine. That's fine. You
don't start complaining,
go
Daddy.
on it. Now we'll go on to somebody else. Daddy, we'll
Isn't
let
that
him
what this
sit.
is all about?
Yes, this is about
people
calling
are
people
talking
out,
to.
looking them directly in the face, and saying, "I fucking
Like the
hate
fuck,
you
Trevor?
because of this."
What?
And
Just-
their
like, I
job
think
is
I
to
saw
come
a
back at
YouTube
you.
channel.
If they would like to
Oh, I
respond, they
see
can
how it
respond to
is.
you in my chat. They can respond to you in YouTube. I don't care where they respond to people. They can go do it on fucking Twitter. I don't care. So basically what I'm going to do is, I think this is so fun. I want to do this every day, but I don't think people can take this every day for 3 hours a day. So we're going to do it once a week. But Okay, Adonis wants to know what you think of him, Daddy. You can tell him that in chat. I'm gonna let somebody else here get a hand at the chatty time now.
Hold on. Just looking at a comment in chat now from Effed Up, because the majority of the feedback casters get is what we need is that we need more insight. Honestly, I would recommend if you can get Anuki to find some time, have a good chat with him because he's always buzzing in my ear about him. He can give you a lot of the actual insight of what can make casting so much better. He's got a lot to say, and I feel like not many are gonna hear it.
Hideyuki's an amazing caster. He did a lot of casting for Smite back in its early days, and then they put him on top 5 plays, and he fell off the map, relatively speaking, where it came to content creation. Like, he used to make a lot of things. Now he doesn't make nearly as much because top 5 takes up all of his time. Am I right, Frost?
Yes, it takes up everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I did... go ahead and yell at me. The first episode of the top 5 plays was fucking terrible. I did it. It was awful. It took me a week, and I did it. I was just like, oh my god, this is horrible. But they said they wanted it to be like 1 to 2 minutes long, and they wanted to cram 5 plays in there. They gave me very specific things, and I did all that, and I showed it to Hi-Rez, and they were like, that's what we wanted. And I watched it, and I was like, God, this is so bad. Why are we doing this? Can't we do like more? And so then I was like, why don't you guys look at Yunyuki? Yunyuki does a lot of really cool stuff. Why don't you guys see if he'll do the top 5 plays? And so I got them to start to like go over to Yunyuki because he's fantastic with his video making. But like, it's hilarious because I go back every once in a while and read like the comments on top 5 plays #1, and they're just like, this is awful. I'm like, you're right. This is awful. Granted, Spectator has come a long way. Everything has come a long way. There's actually lots and lots of plays now. Because back then, it was a matter of, did you have one of the 5 replays that are available in the entire game right now?
That's definitely one of my...
it's like you have to come up with 5 amazing plays from 10 games that we have recorded. Okay.
Now it's just too freaking easy. I don't need to see every triple kill you got because the enemy was looking the other way. It gets to be hectic. And then don't cry when I don't feature your 1 versus 5 Gold Fury Steel. We have enough content of Poseidon's creeping up on full teams and getting a 5-man Kraken that we could put a montage on the side.
Yep. All right, so who's going to be next? Let's go with... There's so many people in here. Holy crap. There's a lot more people than I thought there were. I'm going to make the screen longer. Been in here the longest. No, I'm going to have to start writing it down.
Probably Keymaker.
Key, do you want to say anything? I'll take this as a no. Go ahead, DJ Tricks. I know you've been sitting around here for quite a while. Last time I called upon you, you didn't figure out how the microphone worked yet.
Yo, fam, this is hard.
Now do it! Do it! You're on the spot!
No. The fuck?
I'm sticking. 5 minutes. Let's go.
Quick!
Yo, fam. The F6 at 10 mentality in Smite is just like the worst thing on the planet. Like, people in the TeamSpeak do it, people who are just random just do it all the fucking time, and it is actually the most cancer thing.
I agree.
Like, people can tell you to go, like, hang yourself on your keyboard, go kill yourself or whatever, but that doesn't happen every single game. Like, there's always some dude who will, like, get soloed, get, like, ganked, and die, and then he'll just give up on the game.
Yep.
And then you lose. And it's just actually cancer.
It is. It's the worst thing because you're never going to get better if you don't fucking learn how to play it. You're going to get behind. You're going to have to learn how to play from behind. Just do it! Go ahead.
I don't know. I had an experience, though, where I was also that, all right, let's just get out of here. But no, I was the only one that didn't want to leave. I was that very F7 mentality. And the guy says, I know what I did wrong. I know what I can do better next time. But it's snowballed from here, and there's nothing I can do anymore. So I know my mistakes. It just isn't fun anymore. And honestly, that's what games should be. They should just be fun.
If a group of people came to me and said that, like, I'm sorry, I screwed up. It's unwinnable. I don't see any way out of it. Unless you guys do, I'm done. You know, convince me to stay in, please. You know, something like that.
Could I add something in right now?
Very quickly, Diddy.
Okay, the majority of the Smite community appears to think that the Smite community is toxic. However, I personally have had no problem with toxicity. I've just kind of,
Did you avoid the TeamSpeak because of toxicity?
Yeah, I avoid that fucking TeamSpeak because it's actually toxic. I'm not saying the whole Smite community is like, as a whole, I'd say the Smite community is pretty good.
Okay, so what you're saying is Freight Train's running everybody out of my TeamSpeak.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Right,
Freight Train create savages.
I'm actually just saying it. Like the majority of the TeamSpeak is really toxic. 90% of the games in there are just like, oh, we can't fucking win this. Jesus Christ, why are you guys so bad? Holy shit, just F6. Oh my god, like that.
That's what.
And so I bought my own TeamSpeak and joined a different clan, and then I'm sorry, but
that's what Divios does.
Jesus fuck.
That's why we do in-houses, because then you don't get mad.
That's why we live in separate houses, so we don't have to yell about people leaving their dishes in their room for months, and then I go and get the fucking bowl and I smash it on the wall because I'm sick of finding dishes in the middle of the fucking computer room, and when you fucking knock over a bottle of beer that's been on your computer for 6 months and it falls down, drips beer down the back of your computer, and then suddenly the whole thing fucking explodes. Don't get mad at me!
That was all hypothetical.
Yo,
right?
Demon, I'm sorry.
Rebel, you're in here. I know you heard all that. Oh,
Demon, it was one time, Demon.
It was all hypothetical.
It did
right?
explode. It exploded. We were sitting in our first apartment together. Me and Rebel, after I spit everywhere, Rebel and I lived together, and he is the messiest son of a bitch ever. Beers all over his desk. I turned my chair to do something. I hit the desk, which, here's my desk. Here's his desk, like, right there. So I turn my chair, and it goes bump, and then I hear dunk, glug, glug, glug. I said, oh, shit. And I reached back to grab the power cord out of the back of his computer, and while I had my hand back there, the power supply literally exploded. I was worried I had lost my hand, and he's mad at me because his computer exploded.
Yo, priorities.
Anyway. So that's about 10-year-old argument there that we've been having for many years, and we'd love to reminisce about it and all that good shit.
Check. Hey, yeah.
All right, so, Freight Train, you're going to have to wait.
Check.
Because it's Bible studies time. Bible study, would you like to bitch about anything?
Hi, how's it going? Well,
Good.
First of all, I feel like maybe this spawned off of a discussion I started with F. Earlier this afternoon.
It did, actually.
Well, I just wanted to say that, like, we were talking about content creation. I know he was speaking more from like an esports side of things, but like, I wanted to discuss the unapproachability of producing content for Smite from like a smaller content point. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get to see what F. was saying earlier?
Yeah,
I didn't actually. I actually just tuned in recently. I was making dinner and hanging out with the fiance and everything.
Okay. So, make what you want to say, and then when you're done, basically what I'll say is watch the VOD and see what F. said for probably almost a good part of an hour.
Well,
Go
okay,
ahead.
so I have it from a friend that maybe F. was saying stuff about there only being a handful of good content creators inside of Smite. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, whereas there's this inner clique, especially these days, maybe not so much in the past, where like F. found his roots, but there's this inner clique now where it's harder to get content out, it's harder to get recognized, it's harder to get any sort of acknowledgement for what you're doing. For example, I put out instructional content, and I feel like I do a really good job of doing that, but it's absolutely impossible for me to get support from that, and I feel like I'm putting out better videos than like a lot of the pros, for example. Not to say that I'm a better player by any means, I'm not a pro, but I'm saying I put out more informative content, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm really helping the new players to the scene.
Oh, dude, I was a giant target.
But when you're...
Are you listening to this?
You're on...
Oh, dude, I was a huge...
Right! Not push to talk!
Oh my god.
All right, so like when you're on this grind and you're spending hours, if not days, working on a single video, trying to like really stress ideas, and then you're tweeting at Smite Game or like at different members of High Res, like hoping that someone's gonna acknowledge you so that maybe you can get the attention that you deserve from your video content, and you're not getting that in response. And then you see someone else doing a video on like, this is how you play Nemesis. Buy these 6 items. If you're against 3 magical gods, you should switch this item for this item. And then that shit gets like fucking 20,000 views, and you're just over here like, really? You know, that part gets frustrating. So that's where I'm coming from when I'm saying that there is like this barrier of entry. Go ahead.
I have experienced the problem, and I know the solution. F dot, you need, as high res, to have a vessel in which can accept all the crap and all the good stuff that people wish to produce for Smite. So I make this show, and I tweet at a certain person that will acknowledge its existence and will possibly take a look at it. Well, no, they will take a look at it. They might skim through it, but they will definitely take a look at it and help, you know, promote where necessary. And if not, give some feedback. That's it. Problem solved.
And then on that same note, like, so we stopped streaming on this. They shut down Smite Game stream for a couple months, right? They were like, we're gonna give smaller channels a chance to grow and everything, and no one really got attention out of it. I don't know. I don't stream often at all. I stream like once every 2 months, so I wasn't worried about that. But it seemed like no one was really garnishing any attention off of that. And I don't know if it was from people not trying or from people just not wanting to watch. Like, it could be a community-related issue where people don't want to watch anyone except for like Lazes and Barracuda and everything, which is totally fine.
It's a problem with the actual Smite Twitch is that Smite Twitch doesn't have a ton of viewership. It just never has.
Right, and then that's another thing in itself. And I've talked about viewership in different vlogs and everything, but like how we can actually garner more viewership for the game.
It's a matter of content as well. He's saying, God Guys. There's a lot of people who make God Guys. There's people that make gameplay videos, and they're all one and the same essentially.
Yeah.
The only way you'll get more views is perhaps if you are a pro. That's just kind of like a little certified.
Yeah, that's I've
seen your videos, and those you had like a response video to Allied's "The Game's Too Hard" or whatever that got around 2K or something. You've had a few that also got a fair amount of videos, and they weren't gameplay videos. Like you hit that hole that we were talking about earlier, that niche, and it's just not gameplay. It's really hard to get through with just gameplay and guides.
Right, and well, okay, so I guess this conversation really started from F. wanting like more conversational pieces, more like vodcasts, really, people talking about Smite in general.
Yes,
and then so that was something I did back then because that was right off the heels of Laz's argument with DM Brandon, and like so there was all this drama, and then Allied was talking about like Smite viewership and being a professional and all of this different stuff. So I thought I would do a response vlog as someone who plays casually competitive. And then while the video's done well since then, it was like at that point in time, nothing really succeeded.
Well, Adonis put it, he's like, you're not even a small guy from what he's looking at. Your problem is consistency. It's like, one thing that I learned being a content creator, I learned from Drybear, which is, Drybear made it by doing a gameplay video every single fucking day for a goddamn year. I mean, he put out a good video, he put it up every day, and at first he started with, a couple, maybe 50, 100 views, and then, as you can see now, every fucking video has 25 to 50,000 views, and it's just because Drybear puts it out. Because he did that, and he still creates content somehow. I don't know how he does it. He's a magician working on paladins and that, but magic. So, I mean, what I'm doing personally is I'm actually going to be doing all this stuff for paladins when it hits closed beta. That's like, I did my time in Smite. I've played it for a very long time. I've played it since the first day it was open and closed beta, May 31st of 2012. I have played it since then. It's a fun game. I just am tired of it, quite honestly. It's 3+ years of playing the game every day. You tend to want to do something else, That's why, one reason why I could never work in a factory. I would blow my head off. So
I did work in a factory once.
I'm sorry.
I thought crossed my mind.
I believe it. I believe it. And so there's very specific things for content creators. There's 3 basically golden rules. The first, the best, or actually 2 goals. You're either the first or you're the best. Or somewhere in the middle. So if you're not the best at something, you better damn well be first to create the content of it and get it out there consistently. And if you're not the first one, you goddamn well better to be the best at it. That's where it blows out to. I mean, and Yuki is the best top 5 player maker ever because his production quality is out of this fucking world.
He has a goddamn good voice.
And his voice is sexy, like Frost's voice. Oh, yes, I can talk like this all day, and it would just be fantastic.
It's not even his voice.
Do I sound like that?
It's the sultry, docile tones. And so, yeah. So when Paladins comes out, I'm going to be the first, and I'm going to be the best. God damn it. So I'm going to be doing streaming. I'm going to be doing YouTube. I'm going to be update daily videos of it on YouTube every day. It's something that's good. We're going to make teams. We're going to do tournaments. Ugh! That.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, you got to be consistent. And that's a big key. And we broke 100 viewers. Holy shit. Yay.
Hey. It's kind of the nature of this too. Like Smite, not the first MOBA, not the best MOBA. We're third person now.
Right. Look at Smite. Just as far as saying, Smite isn't. It's not the first. It's not the best, but it found its niche. Its niche is that it's third person. It's fun as hell to play. It's really unique, and that's why it's third. Do you see any other MOBA that's third other than maybe Heroes of the Storm? And that is built by one of the world's largest gaming companies. I don't know how to put it. I mean, you don't do any better.
Blizzard could probably buy high res. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, I mean, Blizzard could buy high res, bury it under the sand, and forget about it and not care. That's what they can do. So
it'd be buried under snow.
It could be under sand, under snow. Yeah.
Blizzard jokes. No.
So Bible study. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I mean, like I said to Adonis, it's not really. I guess it's just back to the whole thing of thinking that there is like an inner circle at least today. And I'm not salty about this. I don't mean to like come on here and bitch. I mean, I guess that's what the stream was for.
Yep.
But it's like you have to consider that there are these channels out there, and it's not just me. There are plenty of other channels, and I see them, almost every other day on Reddit. There are these channels that are working really hard to try and put out content, and they're just not getting the attention they deserve for the work they put in.
They've got to be honest with themselves, though.
Other content that's coming out. But that was pretty much it. And like I said, I'm not salty. I just felt like I should chime in because this almost spurred off of, my conversation with F. earlier on Twitter. So,
which, by the way, I'm back. I just want to say thank you, Bible. You've always been a cool dude. Keep it up.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
There you go. There's your advertisement, Bible study.
I got my attention.
You got your attention. You bitched long enough and it happened.
All right. I'm going to jerk off now. See you guys.
Good luck with that. I hope it all comes out well.
Your mic's still on.
Think of me.
What?
All right. Somebody who would like to be next, type in chat, in the general gaming, the general chat. Is that La Lobster? Lobster, would you like to go first or go next?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay, you do it. Yours is the first one I can tell from the mess of chat that we have going on here. If you would like to join us in the Discord, you can type !Discord. That will get you the information to join. Preferably join the chat, and then I'll start pulling people that would like to come here. Anyway, continue.
All right. So, Paladins, how do you think, first of all, how do you think it will turn out, and how do you think when it officially comes out, the Smite community will react to it?
See, that's the tough question. Because,
I mean, we can't really say anything right now because there's not much about it, as far as I know.
Honestly,
it looks fun. It looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I've literally watched every stream. I have screen capped all the cards from all the streams. And, like, it looks very interesting. It looks very broken in various instances. It's just how, different cards work and stuff like that. But that's all room for improvement. That's what beta's for. I mean, we're going to they'll put it out to, a bunch of people and be like, break the game! And we'll be like, yes! So, I know that a lot of people are going to be a little hesitant, especially people that remember Smite and Tribes, where when Smite came out, Tribes literally fell off the face of the planet. And now they've just started getting back into it.
That's what I was worried about.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that at all because of the fact that high res, when Smite was happening with tribes, I think their employee count was like 25. Now I think it's like 150, maybe 250. They
I'm
have
honestly
a
worried for Paladins.
massive. They have expanded massively. The company itself is exploded with the level of employees, and so I don't know what they do. I don't know if it's like they have 500 coders now, but it's going to get the support. It's totally separate. I talked to Bart about it later, like at the COG Invitational. I was like, so do you know much about Paladins? He's like, I don't know. It's in a different building. Like, it's in a different building? The last time I went to high res, they were still up at the top floor of one building. They've bought that whole building and moved into another one too. So yeah, I think the staff is sufficient enough that it should be able to handle it. However, that may not affect the servers. They may still be shit. Ooh, shots fired.
Can't wait for that.
So go ahead, Lobster. Anything else you would like to... did that answer your question, I guess? It's a better way of putting it. So no, I don't think there's anything you really got to worry about. Smite's not going to lose any support. Paladins is going to get support based upon its popularity. If it explodes and is the most brilliant thing ever, then they will hire tons of people to work on it.
Let's be honest, though, too. I'm sure they'll do some... link up your Paladins code to your account to your Smite account and get some free gems.
Or you're going to be able to, they're going to make Paladin skins based off Smite.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm sure there's going to be a Vulcan skin for that Cannon dude. Like the dude that, they made a lovely picture on Reddit of Vulcan and, God, I can't remember his name.
Actually, so spoiler, in order to play Paladins, you're going to have to unlock it from a chest in Smite.
I'm bloody knew it.
I will kill you!
if that's it, I'm done.
That's the quickest way to kill Paladins right there, F. That's,
Yo, fam, can't wait.
That's it. F. The troll. It's what's at the end of the Odyssey for this SPL. There you go, F. I got it for you. That's the thing you get
Time to
at
make
the
some
end.
Reddit
Everybody
threads.
who went through the entire Odyssey this year will get to play Paladins.
To Tumblr.
Well, I have shit for money, so there goes me.
Yep, exactly.
Overwatch, let's go.
To have DM get mad at you, he'll buy your whole Odyssey.
What?
Oh my god. Get out
Context the hell out of that one for me, please.
Okay, listen, DM got really mad at a dude. I forget the specifics, but afterwards he was like, "I've been having an extremely busy schedule. I've been mad. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry to you guys, and I'll buy your whole Odysseys. Peace out."
Okay.
Can I get in this?
Yeah, I mean, all I got to do is get Brandon mad enough to rage at me, and then he gets me the whole thing. Is that it? Now it sounds like a challenge.
Chat. So where's my Odyssey?
Yeah, now's a challenge.
Brandon just made his life so much worse with that. Please.
Get on Twitter. Let's go.
On Twitter, boys.
Oh gosh.
All right, Le Lobster. Is that it for you?
What the hell is up with matchmaking? Every game that I had was shit recently.
I don't control matchmaking, sadly, but I feel your pain.
I think the matchmaking is if you're a good player, you get shitters because you're supposed to carry them.
That's what I found.
That's what you found.
3 shitters per 1 vet.
So apparently I'm really good. My team sucks.
So be proud.
Keep telling yourself that.
Okay, no, hold on. I've got to cut in. Fuck that, okay? I lost a game where I went 22-3 as Opwash because my team just could not get their shit together. So
those are the games that I've been having, though.
Every game.
Happen. They
those
do.
Are the games that I've been having. My friend, actually, I was playing a game with him, and he went a game as Ao Kwang, and he went like 22-2, and somehow they just got Fire Giant, and we just lost. Like, what is this? I don't know if
that's
it's
you getting outplayed.
Tactical feeding.
Tactical feeding, yes. Well, yeah.
And which Ao Kwang are we talking about? Like the
Beat them till their stomachs is
broken one, or
no? Actually, it's Kukulkan.
Yeah, Kukulkan.
Shut up. Oh,
that's the only Ao Kwang I'll ever remember.
All right, I get it.
We're talking about the Shivalaki Award.
So broken.
I got used to
Okay. Calm down, chat. All right, so next up on the docket, common denominator. Common denominator. Time for your rant, sir. Do you know how to unmute?
Hello?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
On your mark, set,
No,
go.
okay. Okay. I want to complain about how many people complain. Is that a valid complaint?
Yes, it is. That is a valid complaint. It's kind of like
Okay.
Just make it
pot
bigger,
calling the
man.
kettle black, but hey, go for it.
So I love browsing through Reddit, right? And especially if it's a subreddit on a community that I really want to be involved in. But going through I don't know if this is gonna be a complaint about Reddit, the Smite Reddit, or a complaint about whatever. So you just browse through Reddit and you can't go like 3 posts without seeing somebody either complaining that a god is OP, somebody complaining that a pro is unprofessional, somebody complaining that someone is BM, somebody complaining that skins look disgusting, somebody complaining that chests are like idiotic, somebody complain. They actually make Reddit posts of how cancer Reddit is.
Yep.
Or about Soul's butt crack. Come on.
This
Jesus, guys. Real
Well,
problem.
you're on the internet, though. That's the thing you have to deal with.
Absolutely, yeah. I understand that there's going to be complaining. It's just that I don't think that half the people that complain on Reddit are actually like analyzing what they're saying, or are actually thinking, because most of the time you click on one of those posts, like OMG, Loki's so OP, please nerf, and mostly most of the time they don't have a basis of what they're standing on. They're just mad because they got one-shotted by a Loki 3 times in a conquest or in an arena, and they didn't have beads or any physical protection or something like that.
It happens. I mean, that's just bad players that don't want to look at improving, and it's what's going to happen, though. I mean, there are professional commentators that do the same thing. So I mean, there's plenty of people that talk out their ass without doing any research. I do it all the time.
Exactly.
Like right now.
So then I guess the question is then how does the community confront people like that?
Well, Reddit has this lovely thing that is an upvote and downvote system. If you don't upvote it, then it doesn't go anywhere. That's pretty much it. I mean, once it gets some steam, and if it gets steam because Reddit people that view Reddit click, I like this topic, then it will continue to get support because other people will see it and they'll be like, I agree, Loki is too overpowered because he also one-shot me. And that's how it will work. But the thing is that means it's a much more prolific problem than you think it is. I mean, I would say it's just a person being bad. You would say it's just a person being bad. But more people don't understand this. It's on the top of Reddit. Maybe somebody should make a guide of how not to get one-shot by Loki.
And that's what happened with Robin PTS.
Yeah.
Never forget.
And I don't know, it just annoys me so much how people like there was Reddit posts on how not Nox, Soul was underpowered. Like
true.
How what? Hello? Lag? Are you playing the same game as me?
Nah, dude, she needs a buff.
Soul, they were saying Soul was underpowered?
Yeah, I think there was like 1 or 2 posts about that.
I'm sure they were run out of town right there.
But then as soon as they started, like, I don't know, actually playing the game, then people realized that she is not okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got people that are going to always make opinions based on 3 seconds of research. And there's going to be plenty of people that are going to watch the show and be like, God, this is shit. This is just a guy and some random people on here bitching about nothing. Which is completely true. But they're going to make that formulation in about 3 seconds, and they're not going to realize what all the large community members are coming through here to bitch. And be like, oh, it feels so much better that I got this off my chest.
It's the nature of how it is, though, because I remember back before I started, a lot of the pros, well, maybe they weren't too pro back then, but they are now, they would say, oh, this is fine. They would actually be speaking a bit of sense, but they suddenly got jaded of everyone. Nah, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about and all this. And they're worshipped now, but they're just gonna keep running them out.
Yep. I think that was just it. I don't know. I'm sure that it's not going to stop anytime soon. But
Oh, never.
But as long as the community is conscious on how, or yeah, right. Did I use that correctly? That as long as the community is
aware.
Yeah, there you go. Is aware that I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I'm not very smart with
but
words.
basically,
but
we
as
as a
long as
community
they
need to
have an
self-regulate.
understanding that these people are limited in their knowledge and are like, you know, there's still like a bunch of other people that might not agree with them. I think it'll be all right.
Why do you think Loki hasn't been nerfed yet?
Like
because he doesn't need
Loki's
a nerf.
good.
Exactly.
What does Loki do?
Exactly.
Pushes.
That's the point.
It's just, yeah, I mean, there's going to be people that will complain about balance. They're going to come from all levels of play. It's always going to happen because that's the way it works. It will be the same thing for Paladins, that this character is OP because of X, Y, and Z, and that's it. And they're not going to have any other basis. Or they're just going to be like, this guy's OP as balls because he shot me 15 times from across the map. Don't stand still, something like that. It's how much of that, of course, is dumb luck as well. How many times do people get? How many times do people get one shot by Kukulkan's ultimate, and they were at red buff, and they're like, "This guy needs a nerf." Why Kukulkan threw his ult over the red buff? He was just like, "I think you're over there. Let's take a shot, see what happens." He is just annoying as fuck, though. Loki, the one thing I will give Loki is he's the most annoying character in this game. Aside from maybe all the other gods that have invisibility.
It's just, I think part of it is just knowing how to play around a Loki. As is with, like, somebody was complaining about Alpage, just learning how to play around an Alpage. He has no escape. We'll exploit that, Like,
it's just practicing and getting better. Learning from appropriate places is the key. You gotta know where you can find information and what is useful information and what is garbage information. And that is something that's very tough to do as a new person to the community because you don't know any of the people that are involved here. The only thing you can do is base it off views. And if said, I hate Loki because he one-shot me, happened to get 25,000 views because it made it to the top of Reddit, then he's going to assume that that is the correct information because it's there. And everything else he's looked at about Loki has had 50 views. So it's just a matter of you're going to have to make it easy for players to find quality information easily.
Yeah, and making that quality information, there has to be people doing that, right? And then it goes back to our original conversation.
Yep. I mean, get out there and figure out a way to do that. But how do you know that you're right? Maybe you're wrong about your entire thought of Loki. Maybe he is actually
exactly. Like I like to think of how Naja was. Almost nobody played her.
He.
Sorry. No. Nobody played him, right?
Right.
For the longest time, and then somebody thought, Dare to Care. Well,
there's plenty of people.
He was played like once in a while in the SPL. I remember the Gars played him once, and he just went off on him. But yeah, Dare to Care like started playing him as a said counter to Circuit, right? And so now he's like first pick, first ban in the SPL, and he's popping up more in casual games. It's
it's flavor of the month.
Yeah, exactly. And I think most of it has to do with like meta changes and whatnot. And that's why I might be changing topics here, but about making content and why sometimes like speaking podcasts on the game might be a little bit easier than actually making guides is because of however changing Smite is and MOBAs in general, how the metas can change constantly.
Oh yeah, it's one of the banes of creating guides is the fact that if you make a guide today, specifically today, and they do patch notes tomorrow, and then they put the patch out Wednesday, your guide's already crap.
That's
Exactly.
It could be
That's why I stopped
completely
making
wrong.
those.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's just a small roadblock in
Yeah, so I
with
mean, you got to
content
figure out
creators
a
trying
way
to
to
make
make
those.
time
And-
secured, time tested content that it'll be relevant now and it'll be relevant later.
And I honestly believe that's why people turn to pros more, because pros are the people who usually evaluate these patch notes, evaluate the changes that are going, and they say, well, this is what we have to do in order to bring out the effectiveness of this patch, of this change in this active or god or whatever it may be.
Yep. That's it. My God, we've been going for 2 whole hours. Holy shit.
Okay, well, I think I'm done.
It's obviously a good topic.
Awesome.
This is a very good topic. All right. So I want to. I guess I'll officially end it for the VOD. Then we'll keep going and having fun. But I don't want to have the VOD be 3-4 hours long. That seems a bit excessive for VOD. But does anybody want to talk? Does anybody want to bitch about something that is not specifically gameplay or balance mechanics? Because I mean, we can bitch about that stuff for months. Greed.
No, it's me.
We can blame him about greed. That's right.
Can we
All
complain
right.
about the fact that we don't have a Chef Vulcan skin yet?
Where's Pete
Why
the man
Chef Vulcan?
Guys, I have to go close Subway in like 5 minutes.
What?
So go close Subway in 5 minutes.
No, but like I want to get my beef
Eat a
out.
sandwich. Steal the sandwiches.
Can I have one?
Okay,
get
stop. Greed was first. I saw him first. What? So you really
Okay,
want to talk about
all
Chef
right.
Vulcan?
Okay. All right. So I want to talk about the season ticket for a second. All right.
Okay, go for it.
People who use the season ticket, they annoy me.
Stop.
They really do. And you know why? You know why that is? Because people always call it. They call it voting. It's not voting. Voting implies that your choice on the season ticket it affects the outcome, and that's just wrong. No, that's it.
Well, it does.
You mean it doesn't?
Of course it does.
The fuck?
I've gotten all mine right.
Yeah.
Free FP
Insider
week.
information.
So was that it, Greed?
That's what you've been waiting for?
Yes. I hate that people call it voting. It's just bad. Stop, please.
Okay, you know what I want to bitch about? I want to bitch about Alpha Draft, or what is now Alpha.
God damn it.
Is it? What is it now? It's not Alpha Draft. It's FanDuel. FanDuel bought Alpha Draft, right?
FanDuel?
But did they rename it Alpha Draft? Is it still called Alpha Draft? Did they just
I think
buy
it is.
High res, and that shit needs to cut ties immediately. Just saying it. I don't give a shit.
Not
Anything
helping
that involve
anybody.
you don't involve an official betting organization with an official game run. You don't have the NFL working officially with fucking FanDuel. They might support them
They
in a
do.
tertiary manner where they're like giving them names of players and giving them statistics, but they don't go out and they can buy advertising space, but they're not going to say, yeah, we really like to get in bed with gambling, because that always affects everything. DDoSing happens because of Alpha Draft. You can go on to Alpha Draft and see the 3 people who came out on top during the C9 DDoSing incidents. And you go, oh, other than Xing being the possibility, who could it be? It's legitimately destroying the esport right now that we're all playing it, or all enjoying to watch. Well, we were enjoying it to watch until Alpha Draft got involved, and then it's getting destroyed.
Then suddenly we no longer have streams.
All right, well, I don't know if the NFL actually... Fantasy NFL. I don't know anything about fantasy. I'm sorry. I didn't do my research
Dang it.
fully on that, but I can it's a little bit more difficult in the NFL to get the game to be thrown. Maybe they have to get somebody with a gun to go out there and threaten somebody. But you can legitimately go out and look for a player that's online at this moment and try and DDoS him, because you know that if you win this particular Alpha Draft, you'll win $500. You're damn well going to try.
I still don't understand how that works.
How, what
Shane
was-
plays
Alpha
Xbox
Draft-
with his feet.
Alpha Draft is based off of who does well in a game, right?
I have no idea how Alpha Draft
So
works.
is it just like
Hold on,
destroying
hold
the
on.
competition?
No, here's how it goes. If it's anything like Counter-Strike CSGO Lounge, what happens is there are odds. One
Yeah.
team's more likely to win over the other. If you bet money on the team that's going to be the underdog, you're going to get a lot more because of the odds. Say
That's against
it's-
C9.
Yeah, so Cloud9 versus worst team. I don't know who it is currently.
Enemy.
There you go. Okay, worst team has a 10% chance of winning. So if you bet $1 on them, you're likely to get $10 back, while you only get 10 cents if you bet on Cloud9. You're gonna get a lot more betting on the underdog, especially if you know the underdog's gonna win because of a DDoS.
That, and even if it does go by player statistic and worth or whatever with the fantasy
You just
points
bet
or
on who
whatever it
wins.
is.
No,
Yeah, you bet
Alpha
on who
Draft
wins.
is you just bet on the winner.
Yeah.
I didn't know because it always say like the Alpha Draft top picks at the end of each game. You know, have 5 people at the bottom. It's always the winning team. So the winning team is winning. There's not many times you see losing team people. Maybe one is put on the top 5 because it's usually the winning team. Because once you win, you get rolling and rolling, and then you roll them over, and that's how I see it.
So when Elevate beat whoever the fuck it was like last week for the one time, do you think some diehard Elevate fan made tons of money?
Possibly that's how it goes in the CSGO Lounge. And that's why teams like Virtus Pro, they get DDoS like almost every time they play.
Yep.
It really does ruin the competitive nature.
It's destroying esports.
That's like the one thing Smite has going for it, is that its esports is not utter garbage.
Is it though?
It's
Just throwing it
competitive
out there.
in most
Does
models.
anybody here have something to bitch about in relation to Smite Esports and how it's being currently run? Freight Train, do you have any input on that, Mr. Salty Mother Trucker? Because you're a freight, Mother Trainer, I guess. Or did Freight walk away?
No,
Okay, Freight, take it away. I want to hear Freight bitch about Smite Esports and why it's bad.
Oh God.
By the way, you're muted, Freight.
Yes, you are currently muted, Freight. Oh crap, I muted you. I should unmute you. Because... There we go.
Yo,
now
we
we can
bitch about-
talk. Because he sort of had background noise and he was yelling and bitching, saying that he got wrecked. So you got wrecked again. Ha ha.
Solo.
Go ahead, Freight.
Oh, what the fuck?
You just apparently don't have your sound settings. We
Me?
can't hear it.
Turn up the volume, man.
Freight's getting wrecked by a new program.
Right. Please.
He could broadcast
Whatever.
his
Next
background noise.
person.
Oh, I see a flash. I saw a flash.
Yeah, I see flashes. There's just no volume.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Next person.
Oh, if
anyone?
Curry works, then we can just have him throw on there.
All right, Storm again. Go ahead.
Ooh, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Run.
Ooh, okay. I only got a little minute of time, so let me just throw some things out here.
Good.
First off, blame Adonis.
Yep.
Second off, F. Dot forgot to mention that without Kret's numbers and bald ass head, his charisma wouldn't get anywhere with the Really Talk Show. Let me see.
Dots. I like it.
I'm just savage.
I've
been thinking about this. I'm sitting here stewing. Freight. If there's an issue with someone being savage in the team speak, it was probably created by Freight. Let's be real.
Okay.
DJ, you've become kind of an asshole due to Freight, and Curry's Curry now.
Fuck yeah.
Frost, if I got other people like Shing and MLC involved, will you make a Christmas album?
Of course.
Okay, we got the Christmas album out of the way. Where are we at now?
Manager.
Oh, manager.
Right, we still can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Check.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey,
Right.
Okay.
All right, fuck whatever Storm was saying. Let's go.
No, go Storm. Let Storm go. He was good, man.
Okay. If anyone needs a mid laner, I'm here.
Okay, you can go feed. Got it.
Where am I at now? Freight, can you go like not curry the hell out for like 3 hours?
Yes.
Need at least a 3.
We'll figure that one out afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, because I got him blocked on everything except Facebook now, but I mean, we'll
He's
see what
stalking
happens.
you. It's okay.
Is
Okay.
he? I hope so.
I don't know. Anyways,
All right.
let's go. Is that all you
got
got to think
anything
about?
left? Storm.
I'd say it's about where I'm at. I might have more things around 10:30 when I'm done closing. And Freight, go get him.
Yo, Storm, make me a sandwich.
All right, so like I
gonna
guess
get
we're
it.
talking about like esports and how it's presented over here. I mean, the bottom line is like it's just the production for Smite is fucking terrible. Like the fact that they can't even produce a stream that doesn't cut out every 5 seconds or have a delay or have some sort of production aspect is like unbelievable. Like it makes no sense that they can't produce content at high quality with the company that they are. I mean, I can produce better quality streams on my computer that I built for Detonate and do all that versus fucking what Smite does on their broadcast, because they sit there and want to just be like, oh, well, yo, there's a random technical difficulty. You can't hear me anymore or something like that. It's like they're not taking it seriously, which is why we don't take it seriously as a community. Like this is why we don't take the game fucking seriously, is because they don't take it seriously at high res, it seems like. They're like, oh, we'll just lollydot. We'll throw a cool couch. We'll do like ice bucket interviews. This will be funny. Haha. You're doing an ice bucket interview. It's cute and funny, but like, why would I take your shit any seriously than what I do right now and do anything? Like they don't take it, like I take it more seriously than they do. And that kind of like aggravates me, is the fact that I love casting Smite games. That's just me in general. I love casting Smite games. I love being a part of the Smite community. I am a complete asshole. I understand this. I got wrecked earlier on call outs, which is completely true. I am a F6 at 10 minutes if I'm down and not having fun type of guy, which is, you know what? If I'm not having fun, I want out of the game. And
yeah,
sometimes when you're down,
the fuck up.
Like I said, I'm admitting to that factor. Like I said, sometimes if you're not having fun, like at 10 minutes in the game, why do I want to continue? That's my preference. That's me. And that's understandable. Like that's an acceptable call out. I have that issue, and I'm not denying that fact at all. But like I said, just the reason why I just get more passionate about it than other people. And in general, I think that's
all right,
something
Brandon.
that happens a lot.
Yo, those two stuff.
So, okay, about the production though. If they get DDoS, what are they going to do about it?
I mean, like, we need to figure out, as you said, DDoSing is the worst thing ever. Like, this is ruining any esports. Like, I want to get into the esports as a future business person. This is the genre I would love to participate in, but DDoSing is ruining it, like you said. And
yeah,
it's just the only thing to do is to try to figure out security measures to get around all of it the best we can. And there's nothing you can do about one person that's going to manipulate everything and ruin it all. You can't ever predict that. It sucks, but a lot of times I think they blame DDoS when it's other issues as well. I think DDoS is becoming like the fashionable blame right now. Oh, I got DDoSed.
Been that way for a while.
You know, it's the fashionable thing to do, is to say, oh, I got DDoSed.
It is.
Well, Pretzels, I'm not saying like the production, it's not the way they do it, the way they present it isn't bad. It's like, just when you're in the middle of a game and I'm watching a stream, I don't want to wait 20 minutes because you guys have a production issue and then it goes in and out when I'm trying to watch. Like, I'm an Eager fan. If Eager's playing Cloud9, I want to watch that game. I don't want to see it with halfway and then interruption for 30 minutes because you guys can't get your stream together, for whatever reason. And it's, that's an annoying factor.
Well, sometimes that's because of Spectator being stupid as hell.
Yeah, but it's...
Oh, I understand. I'm a caster. I understand the Spectator client. Like, I've had those issues as well. But again, like, it's like I'm almost putting out the same product, just not known. That's the only difference, is the fact that I can put out the same product, even slightly better in some people's eyes, but it's not known because it's small and no one pays attention to small communities. Like, that's the other thing, is like,
here's a comment for you, right? Just a note from Adonis. This issue we're having over the past 2 weeks span were direct switch to our ISP issue that has since been resolved.
If that's it, then yeah, that's perfect. That's what I like.
So what
to
you're
see.
saying,
That's
Adonis,
what I
is
want to
that you will have no quality connection issues this coming week, and if you do, we're blaming you.
Everybody just type hashtags blame Adonis.
We would blame him regardless.
We would.
You're too cute, Adonis. You have to be blamed for everything.
It's true.
I think everyone's in agreement on that.
So Frank,
yeah,
would you also be a little bit salty because you didn't get selected for Can You Cast? Or you
Oh
think you
yeah,
can
no, I
cast?
mean it's a lot of people know that I'm salty about that. Yeah, I've been honest about that on Twitter before and stuff like that. Like after the very first person that casted that game, the dude with the afro, I literally was like, "Are you serious?" Like I was very upset about that, and I didn't understand what I did wrong versus
You know exactly what you did wrong.
So I mean, I understand what I ended up doing wrong. Apparently, there was a possibility is I had tweeted out DM and I tweeted out Hindu Man. I was like, "Hey, I put some VODs up. Are you guys?" Because they kept saying, "Hey, if you're in your application, make sure you put a VOD up because I can't just judge your casting based off of a piece of paper or internet. I can't just see it. I have to hear it." And I was like, "Well, I put VODs up. Did you guys want something newer, or what did you guys want?" And both of them had sat there and put up there they're like, "Well, if possible, go ahead and put up something newer." And I was like, I already had 3 or 4 links up there already. I was like, this should be enough. This should be okay. And either A, that was my major fuck up, is that I didn't listen and put a new VOD out, which I should have done and possibly got in, or B, they just didn't like me in general, which is, a thing that happens. So, but just after the first person and like listening to a couple of the other people that they had casting, I was like a little bit questioning like what happened.
Yeah, when you go and listen to the people that they have now there as the potential casters, and you're like, what?
Some of them
did they find these kids in a basement under a cellar, or what?
No, that's
like,
the production
what
team.
happened to me? So cool. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording of it. So, what is today? Is today Monday? It is Monday.
Today's Monday.
It is
this
Monday. It is the best day to bitch about stuff in the world because everybody hates Monday. So we'll do this again next week for sure. But I mean, we'll continue. We'll go through more people here today. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the VOD for 2 hours.
We'll be here with
2-minute
Demon
VOD.
Chat with Frost.
Yes, and hopefully Frost will join me next time.
We need you weekly, Frost, so we can have your
Shut
voice.
up, Star!
It's only the deal.
Before I mute you. So
Storm,
thank
I
you
thought
for
you had to
joining
go
me for
close
this
something.
lovely episode, and we will be back next time where we will have better control of our chat.